We have Polygon symbol MATIC versus the dollar. Of course, I want to focus on the higher term timeframes first here, just because, it is a new year. We have a new monthly and new higher term timeframes all the way around. And we know what is the general outlook on this one. It's fucking bullish, man. It's the technical term for it. We do have a new all-time closing high on the monthly right here. Here's the thing though. This does not mean that shorter term timeframes can't correct down, presumably somewhere around about 220-ish, let's call it, with still remaining, good posturing for the long term. So if we go down to the daily over here, yeah, you are in a bit of a short-term corrective phase. I would be looking at 240 as still the same pivot that we had from last week, or 241 on a daily closure. I do look for this one to initiate corrections down somewhere between about 215 to 220-ish region, and then I'll just be looking for higher lows right around there. Again, all higher term timeframes are bullish. So that tells me that on the next pullback, I'm just looking for a higher low. Technically speaking, weekly, I imagine probably has some bearish evidence, but a very slight drive of it. Yeah, it does. So again, the general target for me would be somewhere around the 9, which is actually that 2.25 region. So anywhere around there is fine. Below 220, yeah, you got some problems and probably do start to initiate tests down to $2 even. I don't think that's too relevant for right now. Ultimately, this is still long-term bullish. I'm just looking for this one to probably trade down to about 220. Try for a higher low right there, and then party on maybe like later in this in this coming month. If you're on the short-term time frames, like a 4 hour, what do we see? Very likely to test your range lows at 241 or so. Does it break it or not? I mean, look, you have hidden bearish evidence right here. You got very low volatility. You got lower highs the whole way through. I'm probably looking for this one to a minimum test your 241-ish region. If you break below there, then yes, I'm looking for that move towards about 220 to 215, and very likely a bounce there. And the bullish view is that you will see a higher low there, which I kind of subscribe to be fair. Let's maybe just briefly check out the bi-monthly, just out of curiosity, just to see. Yep, still, I mean, I don't know if I'd say that that's necessarily, I mean, that is just a vertical chart is what it is. Yeah, pretty fucking crazy right there. Pretty fucking crazy, but maybe a 5-day will give us something. Same shit as the weekly, to be fair. Yeah, bi-daily, same shit as well. So ultimately, you can kind of see how those range resolutions go. Still long term, probably even sometime this quarter, I imagine, you will very likely see 330 before the next like major correction. In major correction, I mean by suggesting that there's probably going to be, at least a few weeks of consolidation after that, maybe a little bit more. And then very, very long term, do I typically see macro highs at the 1.618? Almost never. Typically where I will see them is somewhere around the 2.414, the 2.618, which is actually quite deep. So long term, maybe around end of this quarter or perhaps later this year, still looking at about $7 to $8 for what it's worth, but that is very, 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 very far away. Short term, it is corrective, however. And let's just maybe briefly check it out from this angle here. I'm just curious if they also agree with short term downside, because that'll make this a lot simpler. Weekly will turn down below about 230. Okay, interesting, but not relevant for a short term. 5 days turning down below 260. Okay, that's not great for the short term. Daily is also down below about 266. Okay, still looking corrective. 12 hour down below 250, which you are currently about 1.5 cents below. 4 hour 251 magical number, and hourly is flippy floppy at 248. It's actually not too consistent right there, so fair enough. I guess I'd still get a chance at 241, but below there, yeah, looking for that next correction. Still, again, just looking for higher lows. Long term, one of the better charts, or among the best charts that we're probably going to see today. So hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for Polygon, sir.